What's going on, guys? It's Jimmy here. Welcome to our daily show where we cover everything you need to know about on a daily basis and what's going on here in our country, including money, investing, the stock market, the fourth stimulus package update, and fourth stimulus check update. If you haven't subscribed to our YouTube channel yet, make sure to click the subscribe button down below. It's completely free to do so. And remember that new videos come out here every day at 10 a.m., 3 p.m., and 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We have multiple new states here. I covered a few in the last video. Actually, one state now proposing up to $2,000, a brand new state. If you didn't see that, I'll link you to that in the end of this video. But we have even more states trying to give more stimulus checks to their residents here. Yeah, here's an update for the state of Michigan. I have a couple more states here after this. This comes as Michigan, their governor, Gretchen Whitmer, had proposed $500 stimulus checks or tax rebates, whatever you want to call them. It's pretty much the same thing. Remember that a stimulus check actually is a tax rebate. Gretchen Whitmer has proposed $500 tax rebates, and the Republicans of Michigan say, the GOP stands for Grand Old Party, which is an old name for the Republicans, say that the state can, quote, do better than Gretchen Whitmer's proposed $500 tax rebates for working families. Well, here's what they have to say. Better than $500 checks. Now, here we go. Yeah, Governor Gretchen Whitmer's proposed plan Thursday to give $500 rebate checks to Michigan's working families. State Republicans call, quote, not nearly good enough. Hey, I guess this is a good thing, right? As we're seeing state by state, case by case, one by one, more and more states saying, let's give money back to the people. And if you've been watching my channel, you know this. We have at least 10, 15 different states that have already passed stimulus checks, tax rebate checks, property tax checks, whatever you want to call them. I'll keep you up to date here. And just in the last video, we have at least a couple more now that have just announced more checks here as well. I'll link you to that video here at the end of this video. But I'm going to keep you up to date here. And honestly, all these states have so much money, billions of dollars, that there's probably going to be more checks after this, because as unemployment is near a 50-year low, in fact, it was at a 50-year low like last month or so, 3.5%. Now it's at 3.6%, pretty much around the same area. As people have gone back to work, retail sales are up. I know the economy is kind of a double-edged sword. A lot of people, neither here nor there, but state revenues are up and the federal revenues are up. Tax revenues, sales tax revenue, state revenues, all these revenues are up. President Biden says that the government is projected to take in an extra surplus of $1.5 trillion. States are seeing the same thing. They're projected to see billions of dollars of surplus, and they're seeing it right now each month. If you've been watching my channel and you're seeing these articles or even these interviews directly from state assemblymen or state governors, they're taking in extra hundreds of millions or billions of dollars per month. And they're saying, hey, we should give this money back to the people as we've already kind of filled our rainy day funds. And we have the state stimulus money from the last stimulus package that was passed last year by the Democrats and by Biden, which gave states billions of dollars as well. So states are flush with cash, and now the federal government is going to have the potential of an extra $1.5 trillion as well. And that's why one by one, all these states are pretty much saying, hey, let's give money back to the people. And I've seen so many comments saying, our state will never do it. And one by one, a lot of these states are saying, well, I've seen so many comments of people saying, Missouri will never do it. Missouri will never do it. And well, Missouri here, one of the most recent states to pass $500 rebate checks per person, thanks to, well, here it is, state surplus. So $500 per person, or married couples, $1,000. So, I mean, hey, that's almost as much as the second stimulus check was on the federal level. So one by one, all these states are kind of saying, hey, we have a state surplus. Let's give money back. Michigan Governor Gretchen Whitmer made the proposal in a letter to legislative leaders. The letter, which offered no details on exactly who would qualify for the rebate yet, comes after the news that Michigan is expected to have additional revenue heading into the fiscal year 2023. Like I said, pretty much all these states are dealing with additional revenue. Whitmer calls it her Michigan tax rebate right now proposal. The Democrat is up for re-election in November, like most governors are. But all these states are dealing with extra money. So whether or not it's because of re-election or not, who knows? Whitmer's spokesperson says the specific of eligibility will be negotiated with the Republican-led legislature. In the spirit of continued bipartisan collaboration with the legislator, we are eager to sit down with lawmakers on both sides of the aisle and negotiate details for the plan that everyone can agree on. That's the key here. That's what we need to see more on federal Congress, is negotiating details to help people. We're not seeing enough of that on our federal Congress. Right now, we're just seeing Republicans just voted no on everything and calling it a day. We need to see more of that. We need to see more of this. GOP says that we can do better on the federal level. We need to see more of that on the federal level, guys. Right now, we're just not really seeing that from Republicans on the federal level. I'm just being realistic here, guys. I mean, we just seen Republicans vote no on the baby formula in the House. And there was a few Republicans, what was it, 12 Republicans voted yes, and all the other Republicans voted no. All the Republicans voted no on the gas tax gouging bill to hold the oil companies accountable. Two major problems going on right now. I mean, if we don't come together and vote and pass bills, same thing with helping out people. All these states giving money back, helping people, in need right now with inflation. If we have money coming in, if we have surplus money coming, if we don't use it to help the people that are in need, we can't just say, oh, well, inflation's high, you're on your own. Oh, well, I mean, you let me know your thoughts in the comments, but it's either that or just everybody fend for yourselves. Inflation's high, deal with it. I mean, let me know your thoughts in the comments. It's either that or they do things to lower cost, which is a large part of the Build Back Better bill was about. And remember, all the Republicans voted no on that as well. They voted on that in the House. Every single Republican voted no on that. So, I mean, what do we do? Quote, but one thing must be certain. We believe it should deliver immediate relief to families who have worked their tail off, paid their dues, and could use a little extra help right now. The letter was sent to Republican House Speaker and all these Republicans from the state of Michigan. Michiganders, cool name right there, right, are facing rising prices on food, gas, and every other expenses, like everybody is right now. While the causes are varied, from the invasion of Ukraine by Russia to ongoing supply chain challenges caused by the pandemic, I am proposing the Michigan tax rebate right now, a plan to send $500 tax rebate checks to Michigan's working families right away. So this is the governor speaking here. But remember, the Republicans say they can do better. They can do better. Michigan tax revenues keep shattering projections, the Associated Press reported Wednesday. Fiscal agencies project 2021-2022 revenues in school and general funds are 2.7 billion to 2.8 billion higher than estimated months ago. Yeah, and they're 1 billion to 2.1 billion higher than the January forecast. Earlier, and this is what I said, I mentioned this in the previous video on another state that said that they over collected tax revenues. It's not that each state is gouging people. Taxes are already set. The tax laws are already set. They don't just change them on the fly every month. Um, it's just that the states are, the revenues are just going up. And this is part of recessionary processes. When you have a recession, revenues go down, inflation goes down, the country goes down. But when you come out of a recession, things go up. Inflation goes up as well, unfortunately. The problem we run into right now is that inflation is so high, it actually could send us back into a recession because it's affecting the lower half of the population, people on fixed income, people on the lower middle income, because the inflation's so high, people are struggling to pay their bills. And especially people on fixed income and like I said, lower middle income, the inflation is so hot. It's the high prices of food and gas. It's really a struggle here. So all that is really difficult for people. Now, places that have income really, really well, like states and the government, because their revenue has really ramped up because they're getting revenue from millions of people, right? They're doing well. Unfortunately, the average person, everybody watching this, does not get revenue from millions of people. Therein lies the rub. But all these states are like, well, unemployment has gone way down. Again, this is just part of the unemployment cycle. Really, and again, I'm not a Republican, I'm not a Democrat, so I can't really give Biden the credit for this. Just like I really didn't give Biden the blame for a lot of the inflation, because I mean, you could pin some things on him, right? But this is kind of part of the inflationary cycle. You see this when you see recessions and when you come out of recession. But you can't really credit Biden with the unemployment that's going down right now, because when you come out of recessions and people go back to work, this is kind of normal, guys. This is kind of normal. So again, I'm not from either party. I can't really say that this is Biden's credit. Okay. Again, I give credit where it's due, and I give blame where it's due. I don't blame Biden for all the inflation, but I can't give Biden credit for all the low unemployment right now. This is just part of the cycle. And if you look around the world, you see that there's inflation all around the world. And if inflation was just only here in the U.S., you could be like, all right, well, all this inflation's it's got to be Biden's fault or something like that. But when you look that inflation is all around the world, then you're like, well, if everybody's dealing with 30 and 40-year high of inflation, it kind of, well, I cannot kind of understand that. Okay. And when you're seeing the same trends in every country around the world, or, almost every country around the world, I'm sure you could probably, find a country or two that's an anomaly here or there or something like that. But again, it kind of makes sense, right? It's a global economy now. It's a global economy, so you got to kind of realize that. And these are all kind of trends, so when the country shut down, gas prices went down because, well, people stopped driving. People were literally working from home. And then the gas prices slowly went back up. Now people are going back to work. And then the war hit, and that really spiked gas prices up. Now gas prices are insane because the gas companies are just gouging us. They've realized that, hey, we're going to just charge you whatever we want. Oil prices are staying somewhere around $110 a barrel. In fact, here's the oil prices right on the nose. $110 a barrel. Brent crude a little bit higher, 113, but literally right on the nose. This has been pretty stable at around 110-ish dollars a barrel. 113 here. Brent crude's always a little bit higher. Gas prices though unbelievably high. They have leveled off a little bit at all-time high prices. These gas prices are insane. Look at this, 460 a gallon. I mean 459.6. We might as well say 460 here. The national average 555 for diesel, basically a dollar more. These are all-time highs for regular. Yeah, insane. Yeah, unbelievable. And really, when you look at like states like we'll go back here, states like California are like a dollar more, a dollar more. Yeah, you could see here the price of gas in California, $6.06 for regular, 640 for premium, 657 for diesel in California. California's just got they charge a lot more taxes, and they have a special blend in California to reduce smog and stuff like that. Pollution and in Los Angeles and stuff like that. So that's why they pay higher um, gas prices and taxes. But the overall price here in the U.S. 459, still extremely high. But if you look at around the world, again, this is why you got to compare it to around the world. We're not the only ones paying high gas prices. And I'll show you around the world here. You'll see that actually US actually has one of the cheapest prices for gas in the world. I know the gas is high here and I get it. We want to lower it as much as possible, but it could be a lot worse. Price of gas in the United Kingdom per gallon equated to US dollars, $7.70 a gallon. So remember, the US average is 459, 460. So we'll say 460 a gallon on average. The United Kingdom average is 770. Canada average is 634. Again, our average 460. Canada average 634. Australia average 487. So they're actually doing pretty good right now, which is they must have come down here. So at this point, Australia 487. We are at 460. So they're just a little bit higher than us. Hong Kong 1096 a gallon US dollars, so almost $11 a gallon. And for comparison's sake, Russia $3.03 a gallon, but US dollars. But this is where it gets a little tricky here because Russia, they're paying in rubles, and you got to equate that to US dollars. But in Russia, they really don't make hardly any money. Okay, so $3 US dollars is a lot of money for them. Okay, because you have to look up here that their minimum wage here in Russia, they only make 220 US dollars a month. A month. So when they only make $220 a month, when you pay $3 a gallon, that's a lot of money, guys. So you got to kind of realize, yeah, they're paying a little bit less per gas than we do, but they're only making $200 a month. Because again, there's a currency exchange rate that you got to equate for, okay? Because they're making rubles, right? They're making it in Russian money. So it's not really apples to apples. So that's why you got to kind of realize that you don't really want to be in Russia because they make nothing. They make nothing. It's like being in China, they're making pennies per day, right? So realistically, when you actually look at the data and you look at inflation and gas and stuff, the US is actually not a bad place to be. But that doesn't mean we it's not bad because by all means, it's still at a 40-year high. Gas prices are at an all-time high, and food prices are at an all-time high. But I show you guys this stuff from nonpartisan sources, not Democrat, Republican. This is just literally just data, so that we can all kind of realize this because it's just what's going on. And it doesn't mean we don't need to do everything we can to help the people, lower gas, lower food prices, stop the war, stop people from dying. All these things need to be done. We need to pass bills in Congress, just like these states that are actually passing bills, helping people. My hat's off to them, bravo to them. But we need to do more on the federal level as well. But gridlock in Congress is not helping that. So, as always, email, call, and tweet your representatives and let them know that they're your elected officials. And we're going to have a big election here in only a few months' time. And vote with whatever you think is better. I'm not from either party, so I have no advocation for either party. And the whole don't vote at all doesn't go because somebody's going to vote. There's going to be at least one person, two people voting. So yeah, the whole don't vote at all, that's not going to really work because they only need one or two people to vote, and then somebody's going to get elected. Somebody's going to get elected. Not the president because that's not up for reelection this year. But um, so just keep that in mind. It's not like everybody's not going to vote. They only need one person, two people to vote, and somebody's going to get reelected. So you have to kind of decide who you want to be reelected for the House, the Senate, your governor, your state. Because trust me, somebody's going to get elected. So I'll keep you up to date here with everything going on here in our country. Make sure to subscribe down below to our YouTube channel. It's completely free to do so. New videos come out here every day, 10 a.m., 3 p.m., and 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. You can click here to see my video right before this with other states that are also passing stimulus checks and considering other stimulus checks. Actually, one state up to $2,000. Brand new information just came out. So click on that video next. Thanks for watching, guys, and I'll see you in the next video.